That's okay. We'll do it later.
We are broadcasting. Look at that.
Broadcasting! Happy Friday!
Put on your headphones.
Why do I need my headphones?
Because you have to be able to be on your headphones. It's just kind of that.
It's that low.
It's kind of that radio thing, and you have to talk into this.
I have to talk in the mic.
And we have to do this. I don't have a producer today, which is always a bad thing, because then I have to do it all.
Can I play the producer?
And, no, I think you have to play the guest. Here.
This is just keep breathing with your nose.
I'm just eager to help.
Return to Earth.
Can you hear that? Okay. Oh my God, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Wow.
In and out.
Welcome to Just Keep Breathing right here on Rational Radio on Ustream.
This water's flavored.
It is flavored. It's my favorite.
I wasn't expecting
I
that.
like strawberry flavored, and I like the grape. I hate the peach though. I had a run-in with peach schnapps about 20 years ago, and I can't even smell peaches.
I was expecting just water, but there's strawberry in this.
There's strawberry. It's strawberry infused water. Yeah, they soak the water in strawberries, and then
Is it good for the strawberries?
and then the strawberries are hydrated, and then they squeeze them to death,
Just for this water.
just so that you can be hydrated yourself.
With flavor.
Oh my God, gold is down $75 today. Did you know that? Do you watch the financial markets at all?
It's
just crazy.
I have no money.
Oh. Well, you don't have to have money to watch the markets.
Well, I'm sure.
Okay, I'm trying to get on Ustream so that we can make sure that, we're always broadcasting. You're listening to Just Keep Breathing on Rational Radio on Ustream /Rational Radio. My name is Richard Curtin. I'm your host this afternoon for Just Keep Breathing, and my in-studio guest is solo performance artist, actor, John Michael.
Hey!
Hi, how are you?
Good. I wouldn't really call myself an actor because I just play myself on stage.
Make sure you're always talking
cool.
into the mic.
I have to hold the mic.
It archives better
feels
when we
good.
can hear you, because when I do this, it doesn't really pick up. But when you do this, you can. Can you hear the difference?
Yes, I can.
So this is when you're not in the theater, and this is when you are in the theater.
Yeah, I'm used to using my voice only, so.
Do you Well, let's go back before we talk about the new show, which is your third solo show.
Yes. They're about 90 minutes apiece.
About 90 minutes apiece, and they're all completely written by yourself.
Yes.
They're all sort of autobiographical. So let's go back before we even start doing the shows. Let's talk a little bit about where you're from.
Yeah.
And where you came from.
I'm a Dallasite. I went to Jesuit College Preparatory School of Dallas. I remember, what do I remember? I remember going to see shows at the Dallas Theater Center, and then going to eat in the neighborhood and looking around myself and seeing all these weird people. As a young student.
You never thought to yourself, those are my people?
I didn't know. I was raised on this.
Because when I saw the gays when I was young, your age, and even younger, much younger than you, I would think, oh, there I go.
They're my people.
I should follow them, because wherever they're going is where I want to be.
No, my closet experience was all about trying to be normal. So.
I think we all go through that period of being normal, or trying to be normal, and accepting what isn't normal. So at Jesuit school,
Yes.
preparatory school, what was it like there?
I thought you were going to ask me about the locker rooms. I'm really glad.
No, I mean, that's so staid and boring. Come on. How was the locker room? I'm playing. Just, being a Dallasite and being a Jesuit, really. I mean, it's very indicative of do you consider yourself upper middle class? Your parents?
We were, and then my parents sent me to Jesuit.
Oh.
So they chose to spend all their finances on my education, and then they dropped down middle class.
I've heard people say before that you can choose to have things or you can choose to have a child. And so in your case, your parents could choose to have things
Yeah.
or they could have an educated child.
Yes. In the carpool line at school, when I was in grade school, it was also a private school. I remember asking my father in our Volvo, our 80s Volvo, Dad, why don't we have Jaguars on our car? And then my dad looks at me and says, your education is my Jaguar. Yes, but
So I'm looking for the Jaguar. Where do you keep it?
no. Well,
Do you walk around with a Jaguar on your head?
It's
When you graduated from Jesuit, did you graduate?
I did.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
When you graduated, did your parents give you a Jaguar to start wearing on your
No,
chest?
I did not.
Oh, that's too bad.
Right.
Instead of getting like a class ring, you could get like a headpiece that's a Jaguar, and you could walk around with it with a steering wheel.
That could be a really nice costume for you. In the
It
future.
could. I'm
But
thinking
I-
about it right now, and then I could do Jesus Take the Wheel. So what was Jesuit like? You know, you are the very first person I have ever met that went to Jesuit, or that's been on this show.
Wow. Well, Jesuit was hell, but I also think high school anywhere for me was going to be hell. On the flip side, the education was focused on seminar classes, so it was all about how to make an argument and how to listen to the arguments made by others and to find a middle ground. Jesuit focuses on
Finding middle ground is my motto, really.
Yeah. Jesuit focuses on community service, and their motto's men for others. So the other all-boys schools would make fun of us, say men for other men.
Of course they
Yeah, of
would.
course. And, but yeah, I love Jesuit now. I'm glad I'm not at Jesuit now.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you say your high school experience was hell and it would have been hell anyway, why?
Because I was playing this role of being straight, I wanted to be an actor, and so
But you didn't really know who you were,
Yeah,
really, then.
exactly.
So really,
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
weren't you really just kind of coming to terms with everything that you are? Don't
Yeah.
you think that everybody was
No, it
doing
is.
that?
It is.
And that's why it's always hell?
I think this is a great point to make that
It's hell for the bullies, too,
Yeah.
you know.
Of course it is. Yeah.
And they're bullying for a reason. In fact, most people who want to deny you or make fun of you or ridicule you are really ridiculing themselves.
Yes.
And they hate in you what they hate in themselves. And so really bullying is really about self-hatred and about hating what they see in you that is true about them.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I'd like to go back to this point of you calling me out for thinking I was unique in my high school experience, which I wasn't. And I think that's one of the shames that the gay community has done to themselves, is they coined this term coming out. So after my first relationship, my brother talked to me about it. I told him what went wrong and how I fucked up. And then he told me the story about how he fucked up with a girl.
Let's
And-
try not to use the word F.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Everything's censored. I mean, everything is. You know it.
Yes, I can use other words.
It goes to YouTube and it gets archived and
So-
UStream, and you never know if there's a 7-year-old listening to this. And I hope there is.
I hope there is too.
Someone recently told me that 15 years ago I had a television show, and it was on Dallas Cable, and I hear this quite often when a child, it is now an adult, a 22-year-old will say, "Oh my God, I used to watch your show, and I was like 7 or 8 years old," and I would think, "Oh my God, there's more people like me."
That's awesome.
And so when they meet me, they're kind of like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, you were on TV. You You helped me realize that there was more out there. Anyway, so you talked to your brother, and your brother,
Gave me advice. It was pretty good advice in hindsight.
is he older?
Yeah, he's 25 and ridiculously cute. So it runs in the family, thankfully. And he gave me
And modesty does too?
No, it doesn't. um, he gave me this great advice, and my response to him was, "Shh, you're not gay, Chris. You don't know anything." And looking back, if I could have taken that advice, I would have had a friend in that relationship, which I don't now. And I think this goes to this problem of gay kids feeling isolated, more so than they need to be, because coming out is something that we all do. I mean, we all come out, we all need to come out to grow, to mature. You have to come out as an alcoholic, come out as an asshole, come out as someone who just likes looking at themselves in a mirror. Coming out.
They call that narcissism.
Yes.
I've always had really good friends in narcissistic people.
Would you consider yourself a narcissist?
No,
Have you ever been one?
absolutely. I think we all are at some point. I'm not a detrimental narcissist, but I think what I do is worthy, and I think that I do things that are worthy of praise and accolades, and so a lot of the things that I do, I believe, are worthy and important. So that yes, I'm a narcissist, but I'm not detrimental. I'm not detrimental to the point where I think I'm the bee's knees, which people don't say anymore. And they never did, really. I mean, I've never said it, but I just did. So at some point, I think narcissism is important. I think that you should have value, you should have self-value, you should have self-love, and you should have self-importance. And I think those are traits of a narcissist. And I think that narcissists, when it becomes detrimental, is when you cannot celebrate
the uniqueness in others.
And their accolades and their accomplishments and their importance. And so I'm saying that with such clarity and diction, importance.
Importance.
And yo, man, you important.
Important.
So I think that's when it becomes detrimental.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I love most about me is I do celebrate in other people's winnings and their moments of glory.
That's awesome.
And I think we all should.
Yeah.
I think we should all push everyone else to be as good or better than we are. Because if you're standing with someone who is extremely accoladed and extremely important, you look important and accoladed just by standing next to them, and just by being their friend often can elevate your importance.
Are you familiar with Christine?
Oh yeah, of course.
She's this wonderful
Austin.
Drag terrorist in
Paul?
Austin, who I had
Drag terrorist, yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting, and my director for a show last January, not this January, but last January, invited him to a rehearsal, and this guy tore up my work with great relish, and all those criticisms he made, I still think about, because they were specific, but they were also universal in my work. So he noticed patterns of things I do, and a lot of it was based on isolating my audience and not making them feel welcome. And so that, what you just said about being around people who are more established than you are or are more experienced in something, like, helps you, makes you get better. I like to be selfish with someone else's talent. I also notice in older artists, some of them don't want to mentor, and I think there's a huge difference between mentoring and teaching. Teaching is easy almost as compared to mentoring. Of course, teaching's not easy.
I think teaching is emotionally uninvolved.
Yes, it doesn't have to be. And mentoring's all about getting into the pit with this someone who's rough,
Mhm.
and celebrating the roughness they have, and nurturing it so that they can repeat that roughness, so it's not just a fluke.
It's really funny that we're talking about this because I had the same conversation with someone last night because, last night was a memorial service for Erica Andrews. And we were talking about, how important it is that what we are doing, and in my life at that moment in this conversation is drag, and how important it is for us to mentor. Not all. We can't mentor everyone that is involved in drag, but when you have the opportunity to really pass on tips, skill, knowledge, tips, we should do it. We kind of have, we kind of should be dedicated to making sure that an art or a craft or the work that we're doing gets passed on and gets elevated to another level
Yeah. So
By-
that you can
by
be,
the next generation.
that you can be reincarnated.
Absolutely.
Peoples.
And so that we leave a legacy.
Yeah.
And a legacy of knowledge and a legacy of, how about basic truth?
Okay.
So, your brother tells you, what is the advice that he gave you?
He told me to call this boy and tell him that I appreciated the time we spent together, and I wish I could have been more honest with you.
So were you not honest with him?
No.
Okay, you were not honest with him.
No.
And did you not take the advice because it forced you to be even more honest?
There's this,
Is that why you closed the door on your brother by saying you're not gay?
There's this sex toy in the show that a character makes a special order for, and I've never seen before. And I have to go in the back into the dungeon of tape lenders, and it's a giant silicone fist, and it's labeled
I love those.
Truth. It's labeled Truth.
Uh-huh. Of course it
Are they
is.
effective?
I'm playing.
Okay, wow.
I'm playing, but I want to order one now.
Yeah.
Are you going to be back there in the dungeon to deliver it?
I offer a great customer service, Richard. I really do. When I was working at Tape Lenders. And see, one of the side characters in Harry Potter tells me, Luna Lovegood, which it doesn't matter if you don't know who that is. She's a spirit guide. It's a stock character. And she tells me that to save the magical community from AIDS, I have to use the fist of truth. And I interrupt her. And I'm like, I have to use the fist of truth on Harry Potter? And she's like, no. You need to use the fist of truth on yourself. No, I don't need truth. I gotta fist Harry Potter now.
I'd love to fist Harry Potter. Daniel Radcliffe, really. Forget Harry Potter. Okay, so you could go back.
How bad?
I don't want to talk too much about your new shows because I want to save it for the last half.
Okay, we'll save it for the last.
So you took drama at Jesuit,
I did.
and then from there you went to Oklahoma State, and
Thinking I was straight.
so in college you're still thinking you're straight.
Yes, sir.
And so what was the defining moment of you coming out? Listeners, what you may or may not know about John Michael is that his shows are very autobiographical. So, I'm hoping that we're going to get some. We're gonna get the lead into your first show, which
Was called Would You Like Guys with that?
yes,
And I got this Facebook message from a friend in high school at Jesuit, and I always wondered, why hadn't I had a best friend that made me feel the way he made me feel, And so instead of dealing with that, what I do
I'm
is,
singing Barbra Streisand in my head
Right.
right now. The way he make me feel.
instead of
Love
dealing
that.
with that, I try to focus on the problems of others, especially in Stillwater. So I work at McDonald's as a social experiment, and I don't tell my friends why I'm working at McDonald's, and I don't have time to hang out with him anymore because now I'm doing a play about other people, and then I see this boy with a mohawk, short focus towards the front, like a horn. And I just don't know why anyone would want to look like a rhinoceros, right? But he does, and he's tall and skinny, and when I do him in my plays, it's like this, and he's the rhino boy. And so I would see him walking campus all over the place, and how he was in charge of the Student Government Association, and I was like, what? How does he get to be in charge? And then I saw him laughing. This was weird to me, and I kept running into him. And he said something to me once, like, hi, and I spilled my food all over myself.
Oh, that's
It was
sweet.
biscuits and gravy I warmed over
It was Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
He said hi to you and it made you lose your gravy.
I warmed all over myself. And he was seen by me right before my 21st birthday holding hands with another guy. And then I came out. And that was the moment, so I guess.
How did you get to be holding hands with someone if you're not gay yet?
No, not me. I saw him holding hands.
Oh, with another boy.
Yes, and so I saw I can have that. I was like, oh.
So he inadvertently sort of became a role model.
Yeah, and he produced my show a year later. And he didn't know he was in the show. Surprise!
How weird.
I think it's my favorite part of my work. Telling stories that
Are true.
real.
Yeah, me too.
What I do is I don't present. He actually had a mullet, not a faux hawk, but mullets, they don't work well with themes and metaphors.
But they are commonly found in Oklahoma,
Yes,
but usually on women.
it was a
especially in this-
fashionable-
in
he
this
looked
day.
European mullet, lip piercing and all. And so what I love doing is taking this realness and transforming it for the stage, which means I also have to include with what's going on in my head and my emotions. So it's not, because it's not film.
Right.
You know?
And you can't do it again unless it's the next night's performance.
Yes,
Have you ever worked in film? I love film.
you love it.
I do.
I would love to.
I like there's nothing like the smell of a backstage. Really, there's nothing like a smell of a dusty curtain. There's nothing like it.
The theater I work at, and I'm doing the show at, is a very historical theater. It was first used by Margot Jones in 1947.
Yes, the Fair Park.
Founder of regional theater, meaning she thought Dallas and other cities besides New York deserved original stories. So she got Tennessee Williams to do world premieres in Fair Park. So she was the
In the 40s.
she was the original fag hag.
Yay! Do you think that's a title that's on her gravestone?
It should be.
Do you think, is she dead?
Do you want to go vandalize? Yeah, she.
No,
she
absolutely not. I
died,
don't want to vandalize it. I want to dance on it.
Okay, she.
I bet she wants us to dance on
She
it.
died cleaning her carpets.
Good for her.
You know what I do want to vandalize is I want to go on the SMU campus with a gay student and get like rainbow horns or little cones with stickers and put them on the Mustang. I've just always wanted to do that.
I have not wanted to do that. I don't really have a need to
Well,
vandalize.
it's not vandalizing.
I don't
you
even
take it off.
I don't even have the need to how about accessorize?
What if it was always there? We're just cutting the hair back so you can see that.
Absolutely. Okay, so your first show.
Yes, was called Would You Like Guys With That?
Would you like guys with that? And was that inspired by your time at McDonald's?
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely.
It was.
Yeah.
The poster's a picture of my crotch unzipped with fries coming out. Also, was interesting. I had another poster of myself smiling out of a drive-through window, and Rhino Boy, who's producing the show, comes up to me a week before the show and says, if something happens, if like you get sick or get paralyzed and can't do this show, you would have still done something, because your posters are all over our campus in Butt Fudge, Oklahoma.
Out there in Berlin,
Yeah.
which is Stillwater,
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
Stillwater, Oklahoma.
And so, I mean, really,
So-
someone comes up to you and says, if you get paralyzed
Well, he was
and
like,
can't do this show,
then you would
if you get typhoid, if you get syphilis and overnight go nuts,
we'll get back.
and you didn't, and so your first play was really a huge success and a big breakout for you.
Yeah, in Stillwater, and I took it to Dallas, and I've only done it twice or 3 times in Dallas, but I was fortunate that critics came, and unfortunately, you need to have someone to write about your work online to get space, and then someone noticed me, and now I get to do shows, and I'm hoping to bring it back, because I'm really proud with some of the basics of the story, because it's more focused on how I judge people. Like, the show starts with me terrorizing a fast food employee drunk at McDonald's, a one-armed fast food employee named by me and my friends No Change Dave, because you always want to pay with exact change or it's going to be awkward, because he has to do that. So it starts with me being
That's
an
hot.
asshole.
I like the handicapped.
So it starts with me. So he has to. It starts with me being an asshole. So instead of it being focused on a coming out show as a homosexual, which I do come out in the show as a homosexual, a genuine homosexual, it becomes focused on coming out as an asshole.
Do you think that being a homosexual is secondary? Is it a secondary thing? Is it a primary?
It can be to a benefit and to a detriment primary. So it depends how you define it. So like I remember thinking like to be gay I had to have sex, and so like I need to learn how to be more gay by getting fucked up in my other
By having anal sex.
anal sex. I'm trying to
By being penetrated through your back door.
yeah.
Keep on knocking, honey, 'cause my back door is open. I'm here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and I just want to be a Southern belle. So, honey, bring your lube. Just spit on it.
So
So, did you have a lot of sex after you like realized?
yeah, a bit, quite a bit. Not as much as I did in the period of this show, of the upcoming show, which we'll talk to in the later half of this show.
Which we're getting close, because and I'm going to move to the second show. The second show is A-list gays, and it really
A gays.
the A gays.
Stillwater, Oklahoma. It's not,
Stillwater, Oklahoma, and I find it really interesting that Stillwater could have A-list gays.
well, it's really so like the
But I'm from Opelika, Alabama, and I understand. I was an A-list gay there.
were there even B lists?
Oh, absolutely. You know what? We as just human people, and as gays in general, want someone else to not be as fabulous as we are.
Of course.
And so, yes, there was A-list gays,
sad.
and there was probably D-list gays, and there were married
Yeah.
who were just sad. I had a
Yeah.
friend that you was sad. Oh my God, that's so
I'm
sad.
gonna re-alter the. So sad, but the
No, you have to say sad.
sad.
It's sad. That's called something, they're talking like that. It's like, really, it's called something. I can't remember. A lot of girls are doing it, and the girls are doing it on television and commercials, and it's called something, and apparently it's not very good for your voice box to talk like that.
Whatever it
You're like so
It's great
sad.
right?
Not sure.
We'll find
We
out.
will find out.
We'll
This is the
take our
first time I've
thoughts.
used that voice. It's called like throating or bloating or something. It's got an ing. Okay, so the A-List Gays, your second show.
Yeah.
Did you start that in Oklahoma?
No, I started
Okay, you
down.
did it here.
Yeah. If
Did
I
you
started
graduate-
in Oklahoma, I would have gotten
Did you
shit
graduate from Oklahoma?
the A-list. No, I kind of wish I did because I loved the school and the atmosphere. But I went to UTD for a year and a half, and I just finished this last December. I had a lot of gen eds, and they have great theater staff at UTD, and I got to work hand in hand with some of those professors. So,
Very good.
you know, performers who've won the grants I went to win when I'm a little older. So
And are you still going?
no, I'm graduating
You're a graduate of UTD.
with a degree in arts and performance. I'm gonna be making bucos of money.
So you have a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, is that correct?
No, Bachelor of Arts
A Bachelor of
in
Arts.
arts and performance.
I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from Auburn University, and trust me,
What is it in?
graphic design and theatrical performance.
Yeah.
And you're going to make bukus of money.
Well, you have a really nice place here.
I've worked very hard in other things that are not performance related. That's not really true. I mean, Edna Jean is really, I consider myself a performance artist, as you do. You know, and I think that the key is to continue doing what it is that you do and be passionate about it. And it seems as though you're passionate about it, and
I love it.
you are getting a lot of press on this new show. The new show is called John Michael and the Order of the Phoenix. And so you have a little tagline that says, "You may not know how to use a wand, but he knows how to use a condom." And we're going to talk specifically about barebacking,
Cool.
because I do want to talk about that, and you are in the midst of really I'm going to call it a generation who refuses to play safe. And it's not so much that you're refusing to play safe, but I think your generation believes that HIV and AIDS can
It's like
all
diabetes.
be regulated through a little pill, and that it's not such a big deal anymore.
What do you think of Tyler Curry? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, be specific.
So Tyler Curry I think he's doing good work, has wonderful intention, and some people argue about the how it's being done. Would you agree with that?
Sure.
And what he's doing is he came out as HIV positive for this blog post, and it was titled HIV positive, unapologetic, and fabulous. And a lot of people got mad because it was like he was glamorizing HIV,
And see,
he was
I
trying-
don't agree with that,
he
but
was trying to talk about how you can still be fabulous and be HIV positive.
well, and you can still live your life with pride.
Yes, and because he's trying to get people to get tested,
Yes.
which is great, and that's kind of the show's about my show's about how I did not want to get tested.
And we all go through that. I mean, and I think there's still people that, go through that, and it's difficult to stare death in the face. It's difficult to find out, that you have cancer. It's difficult to find out you're diabetic. It's difficult to find out that you have something that's wrong.
Yeah, and it's also difficult to realize that you put other people at risk.
Yes.
So the way HIV is not like diabetes is that you can give it to someone. And
Good
yeah,
point. Very good point.
it can be regulated, and some studies have shown that. I hate saying some studies have shown without having the study
2 out of 3 dentists agree.
that when regulated right away, so when it's caught before it transforms into AIDS, which it just magically does, unfortunately, it can probably cut off 2 years to your life at most, which is less than what smoking does. And what I say to that is that, yes, that's true if you can afford the medicine, if the medicine works for you, because it doesn't always work for
I'm going to tell
everyone.
you something
Which I
else.
don't mean to fearmonger, right?
Oh, absolutely. I do want to fearmonger because I'm going to tell you.
Oh, shoot.
That little pill, I don't believe in that it only takes 2 years off of your life. That little pill is poison. That little pill is putting so much damage into your liver, into your kidneys, into your lungs. That virus is making you susceptible to everything. And no matter if it's undetectable, no matter if you are being regulated, you are putting your body through hell.
Yes.
Every day, every night, every afternoon, all the time, you are doing things and having to do things to maintain a healthy body. And it's poison. You're putting it in there to attack something or to keep something regulated. If you are not HIV positive, you're not on that drug, and they call it a drug for a reason.
Yeah.
And so it is doing things, and my biggest fear right now is that we are going to see the next wave. And the next wave of HIV is that the people who have been through the war and back are now beginning to die. And they're 45, or they're 50, they're 55, and they're young.
So
And that's young people. Those are young people. I know that you're young, but 45 and 55 is young. And so these
those
people,
when did they get it? Like, are you talking when
25 years ago,
they were going to start dying from it?
and because their bodies are ravaged
Yeah.
of 25 years of regulated drugs that you're putting into your body that are keeping you undetectable.
We don't know what it's going to do to.
Absolutely. After 25 years, we don't know. I mean, in
That's
fact,
the other thing that is problematic about that argument that HIV is just like diabetes now, because we don't know what these medicines are doing.
right, absolutely. And we didn't know what they were doing in the 90s. And a lot of the drugs that people were taking in the early 90s killed them.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be the miracle drug, and it killed them.
Yeah.
A lot of people who started out with AZT are dead. Most of them. All of them are dead.
Which is
AZT
before the cocktails, right?
Oh, yeah. Cocktails didn't start until about 96. HIV is not a badge of honor, and that's what my fear is with Mr. Curry,
Yeah.
is I want him to be proud. And I want him to be fabulous, and he is. And I want him to be sexy, and he is. The deal is, I wish there was more to it, and that's why I wanted you to elaborate, is because I want more to it. Yes, you can be proud, and you can be fabulous, and you can be, but I think a lot of it is, one person said to me once, well, you don't really start living until you realize that you're dying. Well, the first thing that we know that is certain at birth is that you're going to die.
Yes.
And we just don't know how long you're going to live. And so we are all dying. And, if I had the body that I had when I was 19, good Lord, and the longer you live, the more you realize you're dying every day. And your body is changing, and then to have something on top of it like HIV, I don't believe in that 2-year program, or that it only takes 2 years of your life off. Everybody's body is different, and everybody's body reacts differently to drugs,
Not everyone is.
and not everybody is successful with the cocktails.
And not everyone is of resource and can afford it.
And if you think, absolutely, And if you think, oh, well, if I have HIV already, I might as well just go ahead and not worry about it anymore. So you're getting reinfected and reinfected and reinfected and reinfected by different strains of the virus,
Yeah.
which only makes you a time bomb for death.
So, I think what I'm getting from you is that what you don't like about it is that he's not, it's like he hasn't paid any consequences, or he's not talking about what's bad about it, he's just talking about the good. Because everyone, I think there's this weird thing, especially with Facebook, we're all becoming our own celebrity. And we're all becoming this person that...
This is the age of reality television, where we're all famous, we're all celebrities, and we're all going to act ridiculous in public to become even more famous.
And we all have spell check on our statuses. So we can edit everything we say. We can make a performance out of it. And what it seems like is that, from what you're saying, is that you don't like it because it's like he's making HIV cool. It
is making HIV cool. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't really have a problem with that. What I have the biggest problem is that there isn't the flip side that goes with it. Because I'm going to guarantee you, Mr. Curry is making many trips to the hospital and to his doctor. No, but I will, and
he might not return your email. He didn't return mine,
and he may not. And what I want is
he is making getting tested cool though.
And I think that's important. I think we should all get tested, and if you're sexually active, you should make it part of your routine with the doctor. And part of the problem is people aren't going to the doctor because they don't want the information, because celebrities don't die. Celebrities don't get sick. Celebrities don't have failure. I want it to be more about incentive to stay negative.
That's what you want it to be. But those people who are HIV positive also have a voice.
Absolutely.
And they need to be, because it's like...
Because they're not negative. Because they're not negative.
Yeah.
So, why would you cheerlead if you are on the home team of the Broilers? Why would you cheerlead for the Steaks?
Why can't they both be on the same team?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, but I get it. I get it that I get it.
Can I tell? So, let me.
So how does this? Go ahead.
I volunteered with the Resource Center of Dallas, and I still do. And most of my gay friends are older and lived through the epidemic, and so I hear these horror stories. Whenever I've heard them, it always felt like they were talking about the villain, Lord Voldemort, in Harry Potter, who was so feared that people dare not say his name. The fear of the name is paralleled to the fear of getting tested.
HIV.
Right. Motherfucking AIDS. Syphilis. I've never barebacked. And I think it comes from this weird fear.
You have never barebacked?
No, never.
So you had the information even when you started having sex?
Yeah. But a lot of, it's not just the safe reason, it's also that, like, it's this paranoia that, like, when I go down on the guy after, I'm going to be tasting my own, I'm clean down there, I'm not going to actually be tasting my brown stuff, but it's this weird idea that I'm dealing with my own shit. It's just weird. So I never,
and a fetish for others.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's fine. Desires desire, don't have shame. I talk about working at Tape Lenders, saying that what I'm doing is providing the Dallas community with desire without shame. And I was proud to work there. Back to the viruses. And this, so there's this, the generations who've come before me have all lived through it. And I feel sometimes, and I talk about this in the show, what happens in the show is I see a pimple on my penis. I'm at the Illume, the sex capital of Dallas.
You called it Grindr Incarnate?
Yeah. To get laid, you just have to be above average looking.
That's it? I don't think so. It depends on the morning. It depends on the hour.
Anyway,
Because if you're wandering the hall at 3:30 in the morning,
when I said that to Jenna, she got mad. Jenna's guy was like, "What? What grinder is this?" She's very sweet. Anyways, I see this pimple on my penis, and
it was her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Jenna.
happy birthday, Jenna. Oh, we share the same birthday.
Was it your birthday yesterday?
Yes.
Happy birthday, John Michael.
Hey, Mom.
Aren't you proud?
Yes. So when you Google my name, you can find that I had a pimple on my penis because reviewers have been talking about that.
Did you photograph it and put it up on the web?
Nope. No.
Because your generation also likes to do that.
Yeah.
Take pictures of their junk and put them everywhere.
I don't do that. I don't like Grindr because I like the unwrapping. Like, it's kind of chauvinistic almost with me that I like to see what I'm able to do. So I like the cruising.
Yay, happy birthday.
Yeah.
And well, that was, the unwrapping.
Yeah.
It was a gift.
I feel like, I talk about that this pimple is probably just a pimple because it grows everywhere else on my body. I just wonder why my Proactive's not working. And then I talk about how, it can't be that thing I have no right to do a one-man show about. And how my generation is really uncomfortable to talk about that thing because we're afraid generations who have come before us are going to call us out for not knowing what we're talking about, which makes us remain quiet, causing us to be even more ignorant about it than we were to begin with, just so that we don't hurt the feelings of the generations who have come before us.
Do you think that your generation is really that respectful to the generations that have come before them?
But it's not, so it's not intentionally trying to be respectful. It's also this idea of that we haven't paid the dues to talk about. So it's what you own the right to talk about that. Why I'm not even interested in talking about. And also when you come out, it's like this huge black cloud. We want the glitter. We don't want that.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, it is there. The black cloud is there, and the glitter has to be beaten out of that black cloud a little sometimes because it isn't really important to me, John Michael, that you have sex. I want you to have a lot of it. I really do. It's really important. I say it all the time. You're young, and you really should. You should just be having a lot of sex, and you should be looking for him because he's there. While you're doing that, I just want you to really know what you're doing to yourself, what you're doing to him, and what you could be affecting your life for the next 20 years, and how you could be affecting your life. And so it's just really important for you to have the information and not be afraid of sex, but not be afraid of sex that potentially could kill you.
But let's talk about.
So protect yourself.
Yeah, of course. But there's this feeling by generations who come before us that they get so mad at us for it. And I wish there was a different way that.
Mad about what though?
About us being blasé about it.
I'm mad at you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not blasé about it. I think.
No. I'm mad at your generation for it.
Well, I'll tell you another thing. I think that when I saw this pimple on my penis, right, I thought it was just a pimple. I wanted it to be a pimple, and part of me that wanted it to be a pimple was the part that volunteers at the Resource Center in Dallas. The part that says, "Oh, I always wear a condom when they come inside of me, just not in my mouth because I have enzymes to protect me." Right? What ends up happening is I go to jacuzzi because you can't see past the bubbles with this dude, and I think we're just gonna jerk each other off, and then he sucks me off, and I didn't know this was gonna happen, and while it was happening, I wasn't gonna stop it, but then the pimple gets cut, and in the show, what happens is that the cut is in the shape of a lightning bolt.
How Harry Potter.
And then I start hallucinating that Harry Potter characters are visiting me because they need me to save them from AIDS. Because I can fix that and not fix this. And also what's interesting about it is that they're not getting AIDS through having sex. They're just getting it, and we don't know why or how. And they're not getting HIV, they're just getting full-blown AIDS. So it parallels that fear and of not knowing how AIDS was being transmitted in the beginning, how we thought, or not even knowing what it was called, and how we even thought polyps might be causing it. Yeah, and so what happens is that I wait for the lightning bolt shaped scar to heal, and I start to have sex again. And so the show, in a way, is about spreading syphilis without knowing. And people would talk about syphilis like it's curable, and it is curable. But the problem with syphilis is that when it gets into your body, I don't know the right terminology for this, but when it gets into your body, the cells that fight the syphilis are the cells that HIV is looking to latch onto. So if you give syphilis to someone else, and if they have bareback sex, their risks for getting HIV just increase.
Skyrocket.
Which is why the Dallas Health Department called me after I visited the Resource Center at Dallas and asked me to give them the numbers of all the people I exposed it to. And I did, but not after I called them. And that's how the show ends. And with the audience members, what I do is, see, in the beginning of the show, I get kicked out for being messy. And then I move into the loom. And I get this lightning bolt-shaped scar. And I start dreaming about Harry Potter having AIDS, purple spots all over him. And then I start working at tape blenders. The scar heals, and I see a gorgeous boy that looks like Justin Bieber. And I always go to a woman in the audience, because Justin Bieber's a little girly. And I start to eat.
And every lesbian in town looks like him.
I start to eat ice cream with them, and when I come, it's all over me, and the lightning bolt shaped scar reappears, and I leave the ice cream with them, and so on with cupcakes and oranges. I leave it with them. I don't
And so
think about
food becomes not nourishment, but it becomes. Pardon me?
Or am I too far away? Here.
No,
but
we're
yeah.
going to be able to hear it. Yeah.
Good. I chose not to pick up after myself, which now is unacceptable to me. And I think a lot of it comes with this idea of trying not to be wrong. So, like, I'm supposed to wear a condom with oral sex. I'm not going to. I'm just not going to stick my penis in everyone's mouth like I was doing in the past. You know. And I'll wait a little to get to know them. Or really what you just have to do is just, one of my friends, Jason, what he says is that it's the logistics. So it's like, am I going to pick you up or are you going to pick me up? When have you been tested last? And that's what he always does.
One of the things that I have been reading about lately is that there is a growing trend of broadcasting your last negative test. And this is basically on your hookup sites, Scruff, Jacked, Grindr, where you post negative as of 9/12/12, or 11/30/12, or even 1/25/13.
So Facebook is, I share, therefore I am. And this friend of mine who I don't know very well, an acquaintance, anyways, he posted on his Facebook that he just got tested and he's HIV negative. Yeah, I'm so excited. But he said something he said it in a way that like it was like getting an A on a test. And what I told him was that he should be proud that he got tested, not that he is negative. Because I think that's exclusive in a way. I don't know many people who are HIV positive. I know a few, and I don't think they wanted it. I don't think they wanted to expose other people to. I didn't want to expose the Dallas community to syphilis, but I did.
I'm going to tell you a quick little story.
Yeah.
In 1992, I had a friend. His name was Alex. He called me and said, I just want to say thank you for being my friend. And I said, what's going on? And he said, well, I'm not going to be alive much longer. I just found out that I have AIDS. And until I'm dead, I'm going to fuck as many boys as I can to take them with me. And that's exactly what he did. And I have seen it happen, not just once, but many times, where, you know, if it's not your quest to protect yourself, why should it be mine? And so it is an, arguably, it could be, you know, a death sentence, and it can be something that I think that you could be held accountable for. However, again, it is your body, and it's up to you to make the decision to protect it, not mine. And so I sort of believe that, and I sort of don't believe that, because I also think that it is your responsibility to be honest about your body and what it could potentially do to mine.
And I totally agree, and it's something I learned. Because, you know, I guess, see, I start my plays with a question, and the question of this play was like, how could I have done this? How could this happen to me? I went to Jesuit, you know. I volunteer for the Resource Center in Dallas. I know all this stuff, and my friends teach classes on safe sex. How could this happen to me? And it's because I found it was impossible. It was because I thought I was better than that. And I'm not sorry for getting syphilis. I'm sorry for not knowing I got it sooner. Because what happened is that as soon as I saw that pimple, I should have gotten tested, except what I did was not have sex for a month, and then started having sex.
And so if it's gone, it's not there.
For like with 5 people in a month. And thankfully what happened was when I told all these 5 people, all of them said they got tested within the last week and they're negative. And I was like, wow, I mess around with really smart people. Just not that smart, because they messed around with me. You know, and there's no shame in it. There is no shame.
No, absolutely not, and there shouldn't be. I mean, at some point,
So I try to laugh at it. An alternative title of the show was, it's probably just a pimple. But
on your penis. John Michael and the Order of the Phoenix. It plays until April 13th at the Magnolia Lounge at Fair Park.
yeah, it's right across.
So we have tonight and tomorrow.
Yes, it's
2 more nights.
next to the Bass Hall Performance Hall.
Yes.
Is
Very
that
old
Bass Hall?
theater, and we
Fair
talked
Park?
about that.
Bass-
Fair Park.
It's not Bass Hall. It's
No.
Fair Park.
Fair Park Music Hall.
Fair Park Music Hall. It's BYOB. Bring your own beer.
Bring your own Venus.
Venus.
Bring your own beans.
And I think I said
Bring
this
your own
in the interview,
booze.
but it's funny. If I would have gotten a DUI, this show would have been about Harry Potter drunk flying on a broomstick.
Yet it's about Harry Potter and a pimple on his penis
Yes.
getting syphilis.
It's
Did we give away too much?
No. Well, I think people who see this aren't going to be able to see the show in time, but they're going to be able to see more shows by me in the future.
And you talked about bringing back the previous 2. Are you going to do the...
Well,
okay.
I want to be in Dallas for the next year or so.
And then you have a new show coming up,
Yes.
correct?
At the bathhouse.
Yes?
Not that bathhouse.
The Bathhouse Cultural Center.
It has art.
Artists. You know how they are.
And it's called Like Me, and it's about Facebook, and it's about this kid named John Michael,
You wonder who that is? Are you a narcissist?
who is willing to do whatever it takes to be your friend.
John Michael at the Magnolia Lounge at the Fair Park Music Halls, or at just at
The
at
Magnolia Lounge.
the Magnolia Lounge at Fair Park.
My Penix is eager to shake your hand.
John Michael in the Order of the Phoenix. Good luck to you on this run.
Thanks.
I want to see it. Are you filming them?
Yes, but I would
Do.
love for you to come tonight or tomorrow. You'll get out by 9,
Oh, really?
9:15. I'd love for you to come. You
Tomorrow.
Can
I can be there. I can do tomorrow. I can do tomorrow.
He's coming to my show.
What?
Edna. Gene Robinson, who I've watched at bars drunk off my ass.
Yay!
Watch me. I'm so happy.
I want to thank you for tuning in to
Thank
Just Keep Breathing on Rational Broadcasting on Ustream. You can find me on YouTube at Richard D. Curtin and Edna Jean Robinson, and you can find John Michael on Facebook and...
In your dreams. Or wait, no, that was stupid. On Grindr.
on Grindr.
That's more practical.
He's got a pimple on his penis.
LTR.
My advice is when you put your mouth up to a glory hole, put your eye in first to see what's coming. Thank you for tuning in to Just Keep Breathing. If you're drunk and driving, drive somebody else's car. Good night.
It's not a DUI if you don't get pulled over. Oh boy! Did you like that? Did you get it? Yeah. Because it's not in print, I don't mind. It's just weird saying that I had syphilis, like, and it's probably my least enjoyable part of the show.